Cursor AI has been going viral. Software engineers are doomed. It's an AI tool that is capable of building apps or code faster, whatever you want to build. I've been using Cursor for a while for developing my SaaS applications. We'll have a look at how to download Cursor, several ways to use Cursor, different modes, etc. Some caveats. It's not perfect. It's not magic. I'll show you my workflow when developing SaaS apps. We will actually create a landing page for a SaaS, for example, to walk you through all the features of Cursor. Quick intro about me. My name is Hash. I've been a software engineer for like 20 plus years. I'm a digital nomad, work remotely, traveling around the world. First of all, you need to go to cursor.com and download Cursor. You just have to click on the download for free. I've already downloaded it. What you're downloading is actually an installer. Now it is actually downloading the actual Cursor. Let me just quickly show you my accounts page here. I'm actually paying for it. You will have 500 fast requests when you sign up and 2 weeks trial on you. You'll get that. I did run out of those 500 requests and then I signed up, and then you get an additional 500 for $20 a month. That also I've run out of those as well. But you can add fast requests here. Every 500 request generation, code generation is another $20 a month. So if I upgrade to $20 a month, then that will be $40 a month. You also have optional usage-based pricing here, and then you can enable that. I guess it will use your existing Stripe account or Stripe connection to charge for this, but you can set hard limits, etc. here, beyond which it won't actually go. If you want to do a usage-based pricing, you can do that. You can read more about the usage pricing here. 14 days pro trial, 50 slow premium model requests. But this wasn't the case for me. I did get the fast requests. I think they've recently changed it. Probably. You do have business plans as well, but that's 40 plus user. That's per seat. After that, you just do Cursor and open it. Just quickly setting it up. You can do Command P or Command Shift P and then do install Cursor command, which will install the Cursor command from the command line terminal window. You can use Cursor, and then you can also do, if you have VS Code already installed, code command from terminal will open up VS Code. So if you want it to open Cursor instead, you can install the code command. What it will do is that if you go to which code, that is actually creating a symlink to Cursor app bin code. So Cursor is basically built on top of VS Code. It has with a ton of AI features. Let's create a brand new Next.js app. Let's say npx create next app, landing. Yes. I found that using TypeScript, it does perform better because it knows the types. ESLint, yes. Tailwind. Source directory, no. It doesn't. It kind of forgets at times because it doesn't have a up-to-date documentation about source directory, etc. from Next.js. So I'll just not use src for now. Would you like to? Yes. App router. I need that. And no. All right. Now if you do code, landing, that will open up Cursor. Let's close the other window. So the main ones that you need to aware about Cursor main features is that the chat window and the composer feature, which was recently released. So the chat window is Command L. It will open a chat window on the right side where you can prompt to write code. And the other one is the composer window, which is Command Shift I. So there's 2 modes for it. If you click on the small square thing here, that will minimize it. You have another option here. So it is sort of like a smaller version of the composer. You can come back to it by clicking on that or pressing Command Shift I. In composer or the chat window, you do Command / to cycle through the models here, or you can just select drop down and select Cloud 3.5 Sonnet. This is a premium model. GPT-4o is a premium model. Same with Sonnet. I have a website a product that I'm working on, AI-powered content creation. It's a SEO AI agent system that generates websites and writes blogs on autopilot. So I'll just want to create a similar sort of landing page very quickly. Command Shift I, Composer, will open up the Composer window. And what I do is that I create a new project. This is a new feature. I don't think other videos have covered it. It came out maybe a week ago or something like that. Landing page, create landing page. So the projects help us to organize share context between composers. You can rename the project here, give a short description. Building landing page. This is just for our reference. I don't think this is being sent to the AI models. We have the focus files here. You can add context here. Click on the plus icon there. You have to start typing, otherwise you won't see any files there. It will be just an empty. So for the demonstration purposes, if I do page and maybe add something else, tsconfig file maybe, like that, you can add more files here that will be shared across the composer in the project. I'm just going to copy the whole thing from here, just for reference actually. I'm going to composer and then I'm going to do build me a landing page. Use this content. And then I do submit. One thing composer is getting viral for is that it is able to create multiple files and edit multiple files. So once it generates that, you have a few options here. You can reject if it doesn't come up with a response that you don't want, you can reject it or accept it. You can continue chatting to make changes, and you have a suggested code and diff view here. So this was the previous code, and this is the new changes that Cursor has done to the page. You can individually go through these files if there are multiple files, or in this case just one file. I can accept or reject it. If I choose to reject it, I can choose again reapply, and then it will reapply again. Now I will accept all, and it saves most of the times. You can manually click save, and I haven't really figured out what the difference is. Sometimes it saves and you click apply, sometimes it doesn't. Maybe that's why they have added a manual option. If I close the composer window, let's start the npm run dev localhost. There you have it, a landing page with the content that we have provided. I will continue chatting with it, make it stunning. Usually when I am starting out a new feature, especially when I don't know specifics of what I am going to or how I am going to implement a certain things, I keep the instructions very vague, like make it prettier and stuff like that. I don't say use this library or style it in this way or something like that. I give Cursor a lot more freedom in the beginning, but when I want to pinpoint something, then your prompts have to be specific. That's how I do it. And I'm going to say accept all. Let's see what. All right. Okay. So made it better, but I can't see anything. So let's just say there is no contrast in the landing page and I cannot see most text. And I'll just hint at the problem as well. There is light text on light background. You can also click on cancel apply if you want to interrupt the apply process. We can see some text. See how that easy that is. In the mini version, when you click on the title, it kind of like collapses the diff and everything. You press escape from the big window, it goes to the mini version. And then if you want it further mini, just click on the title here. And you can also do Command M, I think. Yeah, Command M. Let's have a look at the chat window, the next thing. Command L or Control L probably on Windows. It will open up the chat window. And now you have the context of the page. Whichever page you are on, that will be added to the context. Same with composer. If you start from there, that page will appear in the context for that composer interaction. So Command L. This also can apply changes to multiple files, but it cannot manipulate it. It can only suggest the changes, and then you have to go through each changes and apply it manually. Use the best copywriting practices. Rewrite or change the copy on the landing page. Then you have to actually click the apply for it to apply to the page. Sometimes it doesn't recognize the page that you started it from, and then it will ask come up with the continue option. So just press continue, then it will apply to that page.tsx. The diff is being applied. Here, you can actually review the code, select yes or no like that, and sometimes you don't want that change to happen. You can click on the no option, Command Y or Command N, or you can accept all the changes for that particular file here or on the right hand side. You can also press ask and that will get loaded onto the chat window, and then you can see here that is being quoted here. You can ask questions on that. You can chat with a certain portion outside the code bit here. You can copy that and that kind of stuff. This looks good. Let's make this, these are not linked together to different sections of the page. So let's do that now. So the third way, Command K, this is the inline generation, doesn't have any other context. You can add context with the @ symbol. If you put that, you have a whole lot of different things that you can add. This you can do in all the three: Command K, inline generation, in the chat window, and in the composer. If you click on the first line of the function and then do Command K, it selects that function. You can submit an edit using natural language, prompted to rewrite it in a certain way. Let's link the different sections of the page. That will be a good use case for this. You can also select the whole thing and do Command K and say the different sections are not linked. Link internally. You can submit it. You see if it's showing slow request there because I have run out of the credits. Now it is going through. This thing is actually faster than chatting through Composer or the chat window because it directly applies it. I don't think it follows the two-step process of creating the response and then creating the diff. Then you can accept or reject here. And also you can add follow-up instructions. It looks good actually. I like it. Another thing is you can do from Command K is this the best practice in copywriting? And then you have a quick question option or option enter. Again, slow request here. And then it comes with a response like, oh, this is copy could be more concise in some areas for better readability and stuff like that. And then you can say follow-up instructions, make these changes. I usually follow the make it work and then make it prettier and make, efficient. So if you ask it, is this the best practice? After that, it does a self-review and makes some changes. So I found that the best prompt to do that is to just say, make it better, make it beautiful, stuff like that, without actually getting into the specifics. Accept that and see what it has done. Yeah, I changed the title, etc. Maybe it made that was too cringy. It is responsive and everything except the header. Referencing feature is what I want to show you. So let's say that I want to use ShardCN or something like that, an external library for this. And let's say I want to capture the emails that is actually not visible, and let's make that work. Let's go back to, I'll start with Composer because it may need to edit multiple files. So I'll say I want the email capture to save emails in a local file. Press enter. So now it has another route, which is not what I want. I want it to use server actions. So I will say only use server actions and not API routes because it is Next.js 14. Another thing is that once the routes or the extra files have been created and that's not what you want, it doesn't actually automatically delete it. You have to manually do it. Does it start free trial? Emails. It does save it, but I need some kind of feedback. So I'll say I need some kind of feedback. Email has been saved. Accept all. Let's see again. Email saved successfully. That's not what I want. I want the message to say you have joined the waitlist, and also change the button text to join waitlist. Here, join the waitlist. Now I want to show you the referencing options, which means that how to pass the context to the chat in different ways. Let's say I want to, instead of for the forms, etc., I want to use ShardCN cards and inputs and stuff like that. So we have a component that I have created here, email form, and this time I'm going to use the chat window because I'll show you why in a second, because you can execute commands if it works. That's the big if. So if you do like /, you can reset the whole chat if you don't mind about losing the chat history, reset, and it will load the current file. But if you go to the chat history, the history is wiped. If I don't do that, it will be a new chat window. For each Command L that you press, it will be a new chat. So different referencing options. You can reference open editors, which will mean that it will, whatever you have open here, that will be put into the context and then you can chat with it. It is actually a very handy option. This is the same in Composer as well. If I do reference open editors, it will put all these in addition to the project context into the Composer. Use chat CN. It didn't actually do what I wanted to do. Sometimes it shows this as bash commands and you can run it from directly from there. Let's nudge it in that way a little bit. Give me the bash commands. Yeah, now you can see that it is run instead of just apply. If you run it from there, it will actually interrupt this process, whatever is going on. It will kill that process and run the commands. I don't want it to do that because I have the development server running here. So I'll create a new fish shell and then I'll run it. It will obviously fail because there is an error in that, because it's just ShadC and it's not ShadC and UI. So whenever an error happens here in the terminal, you can just click on that. Sometimes it has like a red selection block. If you click on that for the previous command that failed, and then you can add it to the chat or the Composer to tell it about the error and fix it. I'm just going to add it to the chat. Command L. There is an error happening. So that is still wrong because it has to be just ShadC, and so I'll just try to nudge it in a certain direction. So I'll say reference the web. That is the web option here, which does basically a search. And also you can add docs here, specific docs. You can add a new doc. There are some standard docs available, and add new doc. And then I go ShadCN documentation, copy that docs URL, come here, enter that, and I can then save it as ShadCN. I have done that already. So that is this doc spot, ShadCN. The training data is not up to date, right? So you might have to give new URLs for it to refer to, etc. There are more options. If I do code, I can get the code snippets from the current file that is open. So for example, email form and save email. Like you can pass also the segments of code. You can add folders, entire folders, and files. You can select that. So different options. Git, you can add a Git repository. Code base will be just passing the entire code base, which I don't recommend because it confuses the chat, especially if it's a big project. What I normally do is reference open editors because those are the ones that I have recently worked on, and most of the times it has the information that it needs, unless it's a new feature that I'm writing. This is not the correct command. So now it is actually searching for ShadC and UI, documentation online and stuff like that. Still, for some reason, it doesn't come up with the right. So I'll just give it should be just ShadC and latest in it because I don't want it to repeat this mistake again. At that same time, I'm going to run that command. So run that. It's being run. Oh, it's actually, all right. Okay, it's running. And I'm going to choose yes. All right, now ShadCN is done. No, it didn't actually use ShadCN there though. So I can come here and click on apply here. But that will still not work because we have these steps to do. Give me the commands to. You can just type it and you're wasting a generation. Give me but if you're like me, if you're that lazy, give me the commands for installing. Let's see if it remembers. Yeah, it does remember. So run that. I'll run that. If you have an error like this, you can just hover over it and then you have a Command Shift E option, or you can just click on that button to fix those. This is useful when there are like TypeScript errors and stuff like that. And it doesn't work all the time because for me it opens up the sidebar. Now it works. And it does try to fix it. If I do that, change that. Okay, apply. All right. So let's a single composer. And I'll say reference open editors and I'll select all that, add to composer, enter. So you can also tab to go to that file. and it's being generated. I'm not really sure if it changed anything. I'm just going to accept it anyway. There's a bug. I can't really move the thing down. What did it do? Where did it go? We have a new landing page. Looks a bit worse actually because of the theming and stuff like that. You can work with it. Yeah, it doesn't work. So I'm just going to tell it not to use. Don't use toast. Show the message on page. And let's say, yay, I joined the waitlist. This is good enough, I think. I have, that's also properly fixed now. Link to the right sections. And maybe this is hooked in as well. Let's say, yeah, that works as well. You know, if you want to whip up something very quick for a landing page, this is how you do it. Hopefully you enjoyed that video, got something useful and valuable out of it. And let me know if there are more any questions in the comments or something you need me to cover. I do talk about SaaS, I do talk about AI news, AI developments, more videos coming in. Be sure to subscribe, like the video, and also there's a newsletter link as well. Yeah, check it out. So one more thing that I want to show you is the autocomplete feature. So if you want to manually, maybe sometimes I'm faster if I do write things manually. So it can understand we can predict very accurately what you're going to write. Let's say if I want to capture the name as well, I can just say capture as well along, see, constant set name, and then it comes with a tab, and then you don't have to do anything. Just press tab. Well, it is supposed to do something, but press enter there, input, and then tab. And then if I do tab again, what does it do? It does change something. And then it probably needs to be sent to save email, form data. I have to probably see it autocompletes across editors. Form data, get name, and if we hover over it, and yeah, that is auto completed as well. And then file path, append file, email, and then it just press tab, and then name is given inside. And if I come here, join waitlist, then if I go to the emails file, hash, it did add here as well. So it's the same form that it's using. You have terms and everything. You can do pricing, blog, terms, and privacy. Using the composer, you can do generate all that in one go as well. New composer, I will just say code base this time, and then say generate pricing blog pages and link it to the footer. I'm just going to blindly accept everything and go to blog, yay, that is there. Terms, where is the content? Generate the contents for blog. Dummy content. Read more, does that work? I don't think so. Pricing, nice. 2,900 articles a month. Our terms. See you in the next one.